Hey YouTube. Alright, it's a little different video today. Today we're going to go ahead and, some people don't know how to do stuff like this, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and film it just in case. We're going to go ahead and enlarge this window. This window here is pretty small. It is only 18 by, I don't know, what is it, 24 or something like that. 18 by 23. We're going to go ahead and put in a window that obviously is a little bigger. So instead of 18, it's 27. And instead of 23, it's a 40. These windows here were takeouts. So these are brand new windows, but they're takeout windows from, another job. So it didn't cost anything. And I want to put that AC unit out in the shed because it gets a little too hot out here because the south sun right over top overhead, it bakes the roof on this thing. So to work out here on the tractor and the other projects, we're going to throw an AC in the window. Obviously this one here, there's no way that AC unit is fitting inside that opening. I have a pair of these windows, so we're going to end up doing cutouts on both. But right now we're only going to do a video on just this one because I want to get the AC in. And then go from there. So I'm going to do little short clips here and there. Basically I'm going to show what I'm doing, how I'm starting to enlarge this, just so people who don't know how to do this obviously will know. Some of you people, you know how to do it, no big deal. I've been doing this stuff since I've been 12. I started this work with my grandfather, and I've been pretty much around building stuff and construction all my life, but actually working like every weekend. Yeah, I started when I was young. So this is like second nature, cutting things out. But for the people who don't know, first thing you want to do when you're doing something like this, grab yourself a reciprocating saw, and you're going to go in between all the joints like this, and you're going to basically cut down and cut all the nails off. I did it here. I did it on the top, where it mounts to the top plate. I did it where it mounts to the bottom plate, cut the nails off. So basically, once everything is cut off, you can go ahead and obviously the siding on the outside is attached to this. But you can go ahead and, I'm not going to do it with one hand, but I'm going to kind of give an idea. See how everything comes pretty much right loose? So I can get my bar locked in there. If I had a second hand or a hammer, I could do this a lot quicker and a lot faster to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. But basically we're going to go ahead and get in between this ply right here, and we're going to go ahead and break these 2x loose out of this ply. Once I get that 2x4 out, that 2x4 out, and the vertical 2x4 out, we're going to reframe. Basically I'm going to jump this 2x4 here over to here, and that gives me pretty much my 27 in between here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my horizontal braces, and they're going to be at the 40 inches. Once I have the actual wood frame here framed out, then I'm going to show you how I go ahead and follow the sawzall down and cut the siding and the sheath. Well, I'll cut the sheathing first, get my opening done, and then I can go outside and very easily cut the siding. And then when the window goes in, it fits in nice and snug. And then I'll show you how to do it with the J-channel around a window like this and seal everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and start it back up once I get these 2x4s moved. Again, it's nothing really special to show. I've already cut them loose. I'm just going to jump them over and I'll show you from there. Alright, so as you saw, that took all but 2 minutes to cut that out. When I put these studs back in, I'm going to go ahead and use 2.5 inch drywall screws. As you see, I already jumped the 2x that was here over to here. That pretty much gives me my 27 inches right inside there perfectly. So I'm going to decide how high I want the window, which I'll probably put the window maybe somewhere about here because of the height of it. I don't want to go too high because of the hip style roof that's on here. I'll show you from outside. If I go too high, it'll get too close to that drip edge and all right there. So I want to keep it from there. So I'm probably going to bring the window up till about here. So it's easy enough to unlock the siding. I'll show you how to unlock the siding on here. And then we're going to pull that away if I need to in order to get that window out. I may be able to just get that window out once I enlarge the opening. So that's why I'm not unlocking it as of yet. But cutouts are relatively easy. A lot of people are scared to do it. Don't be scared. It's not that big of a deal. It's only a big deal if you cut your siding wrong. If you cut your framing wrong inside, no big deal. You can fix that. Outside, it's a bigger deal. So you got to be careful when how you do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the drill and everything, get the screws, go ahead and get these studs screwed in, and I'll go ahead and follow up with some pictures showing the process, and then we'll keep going from there. Alright, so as easy as that, it's framed in and ready to go. You know, obviously, once you're framing, as long as your building is square, you want to go ahead and check, make sure that, everything you set is nice and level. Everything is. The walls, I can't do much about over here because this was already set. And as you see, the shed itself isn't sitting perfectly level. But I did square this off with a triangle square. Everything is good in the corners. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and set that window into this framed opening. Double check, make sure everything sits good and square. And if it sits nice and square where I want it, then I'm going to go ahead and take the sawzall, go ahead and cut this sheathing out. Get the sheathing out of the hole, then that leaves the siding exposed on the other side. All I got to do at that point is either snip it, or I can run the reciprocating saw, but you got to be careful. Usually, sometimes when it comes to this on the siding, if I don't use snips, I'll use the multi-tool. Works really easy, cuts it really fast. Whatever easier for you, go ahead and do. Be careful using the sawzall if you're not experienced, because with that reciprocating blade, it will yank the siding out of your hands and tear or break the siding. So unless you know what you're doing, or you got a second person to help push the siding against the house, don't use that. Use either snips, and I'll show you what kind of snips to use, or you can use a multi-tool. But I'm going to go ahead and set that window in and see if everything fits okay, and then we'll start cutting. So obviously double hung tiltable sashes, take the sashes out, make it easier. But as you see, the framing fit perfectly snug all the way around, just like I like it. So now I know everything fits. Now we can go ahead and cut the plywood out on the outside. And from here, you can see the difference of the window size compared to what's in here. So let's go ahead and let's get this plywood cut out. All right, and of course, this wouldn't be a bourbon beer tractors and prepping video if we weren't having us a beer. So yes, we are cracking into a Budweiser today. It's a good hot day for it. You can see that can sweating. Oh, it tastes really good today. Of course, it pretty much tastes really good every day. So the weapon of choice, a good tool to have. If you don't have one, you should grab one. Grab yourself a multi-tool. You'll see how easy. Well, here, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll film and I'll do it across the bottom to show how easy this cuts and how smooth this cuts. So, little example, how fast it cuts. You can buy different size blades, obviously, for it. You can go wider, you can go narrow. I mean, as far as cutting the opening, they work beautiful. Right there, already through. And that's doing it awkwardly trying to hold a camera. So you see, this actually makes very short work of it. It makes very minimal dust if you have an area where you don't want to get a ton of dust. Obviously, I don't want to get a ton of dust all over the tractor, so I'm going to cut this very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and I'll come back once I got the opening cut out. All right, my friends, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So see how much easier that was? Frame the opening, and then do your cutout when you're sheathing and you're siding. Comes out much straighter, much easier, much quicker. All I gotta do at this point is run the J channel on the outside. I'll take you out and show you. Just like that. Nice and straight. We'll cut the J channel, put the J channel in. And when we do the J, obviously we'll put the top pieces on. We'll bend the flaps around, put the side pieces in, and then the side pieces will overlap the bottom piece. So if water hits the J, it'll run off the little flap that we put on, it'll run down the side, and then it'll run off the bottom and won't go into the bottom channel. So there's a way you got to do your J channel so the water doesn't get in. But as you see, cut it out one shot, one opening. This will be the next one we'll do. I'm not doing it today, but that's gonna be the next one. But as you see, it didn't take all but so far 30 minutes to get to this point. So it's pretty quick, pretty easy. All right, let's go ahead and get this window set in the hole, and then we'll start getting the J channel on. Alright, so I'm going to give you a super quick crash course in the setting our window. Again, some people don't know how to do this. Now, you saw when I put that level on that wall right there, you saw the shed itself is sitting at a level. So to actually put a level across this window will be stupid, because if the shed's not sitting crooked, well, then you're going to try to set your window perfectly plumb to a crooked shed, which means you're technically going to set your window crooked. An easier way to do it is go ahead and get your screws set. As you see, I got a screw there, screw there. You're going to go ahead and pull your top sash down, and then you're going to pull it back up, and you're going to go ahead and just give yourself a little gap like that, and then you're going to check your gap for true. And as you see, it's true across the top. Now, just because your top is straight doesn't always mean your bottom is going to be straight. So you want to do the same exact thing with your bottom in case the window's racked out of square. And as you see, the framing now is perfectly straight. The window is perfectly level. So you should be able to push down, push up, and your lock should lock just like that without any issues whatsoever. So just a quick crash course on how to set a window. That's all you have to do. Obviously, you'll get some openings that'll be really, really crooked. Some openings will be perfectly straight. Well, obviously, I framed this straight, but I knew that side was crooked. So don't go by the misconception of having to put a level on your window. You don't always have to do that. That actually falls the same for when you set doors. You can go ahead and set your level and put your door in square. For the most part, you got to get it square. But if your opening's crooked, your door is going to be crooked. So it's just an easy way to test it. Again, this isn't going to work for every job, but for the most part, this will work just fine. Out of the thousands of windows that I've set, only a few do you have to actually put a level on. Bays, bows, gardens, yes, put a level on it. When you have two-piece sliders, three-piece sliders, casement windows, yes. It's usually good to at least check it with the level, but for the most part, you can do the same thing. Double hungs can be a little bit more forgiving. You can set it just like that. So what we're going to do is, I have to run out. I have to go pick up a snowplow, but when I get back, we're going to go ahead and do the J-charn around the window like I said, but I just sat it in the opening, so this kind of at least gives you an idea until I get back how it's going to look. Like I said, night and day difference, the size of the window compared to the size of that window. So much bigger, much better, much more light, and I can get an AC in there. That's what I was going for. And very minimal, if any. Ooh, I got a little bit of dust on my tank. Yep, I'll be blow drying that off. But that's it for now, and then as soon as I go ahead and get back on here, we'll go ahead and get this J channel on and wrap this thing up. Alright, so as you see, that's how easy it is to throw J channel around here. No big deal. Now, you'll notice on a lot of houses and stuff, a lot of, most siding guys will do miters on here and do these on a 45. I'm not sweating a 45 on this one because it's just a shed. But if you want to dress it up a little bit, I mean, I could actually just come in here with a pair of snips right now, and I could just snip that on a 45, done deal. But as you see, the sides come down, and then I bend the flap around, and the flap actually goes under here. And then the top piece, the flap is actually going over, it's bent, and it's coming down. So that way, any of the water hits that J-channel, it'll run off the edges. Now I'm going to go ahead and use white quad. I'm going to quad the inside of this window in. And once you use quad, you really don't want to do a lot of messing with it. You kind of want to put it on and be done with it. So you got to bend. I have a way I cut my tips that actually work really good with quad. So let me go grab my gun and the caulk, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, I'm going to try to do this the best I can with one hand. I've never done it with one hand before. But basically, when you cut your quad tip, you don't want to use the cutter on the gun. Use a razor. For this here, I can go just a tad close, about 1/4 inch. And then what you want to do is, this is going to be really hard to show you guys this. Let me see if I can turn this way. All right, let me see how well I can do this for you. You want to cut up, and you want to actually kind of cut over like this, which makes basically like a bird's beak. So if you cut your quad, see if I can get it back in focus. If you cut it like that, your quad will go on perfect almost every time. If you cut it on the exact 45, like the gun cuts, or any angle, quad usually can give you a fit. So again, I've been quadding this way for years, and it works much better. I am not going to be able to quad this window and hold the phone the same time, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to pop it, and then We're going to run down and use that little bird's beak to kind of run down, get to the corner, pull out that way, you lick your finger, and you very easily smooth it. I'll show you that part, but I'm going to have to unfortunately caulk this. I think I turned the camera upside down. I guess we'll find out when I film. I mean, when I edit the video, huh? So like I said, no way I could have done that holding on and filming the same time. But as you see, once you put the quad on, that's it. It's done. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of the low expanding foam that the other installers got all over the outside of the window. But as you see, quad nice and straight. And when you get to your corners, if you want to blend them, you lick your finger and you just give it a little dab, a little touch, done. If you do much more, you're going to drag that quad right back out of there. So that's it for a cutout. That's how simple it is. Very easy, very quick. Go from that to that in no time. Hopefully this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box. Other than that, I guess that's it. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell. And there's a lot of projects that I'm going to end up doing, and I'll keep filming everything, see if I can help out anybody I can. So other than that, you guys have a good day. Stay cool, because I know one thing, it is hot as Hades out here today. So hope you guys are enjoying this in the AC. Till next time.